Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We are now going to be doing the Mananam in our Viveka Chodamani classes. We will be taking up verses 31 to 109. Our very first speaker is Chitra. I invite Chitra to come and speak on the question of how does Acharya define the role of Jnana Bhakti? Chitra, over to you.
Om Amma Namaskaram. In this Acharya talked about the verse regarding bhakti. In addition to Chadana Chatushtya Sampatti, another sadhana is introduced, and that is bhakti. What is bhakti? It means in attitude, that is an attitude, a love of God. But we are talking about bhakti as sadhana. It does not refer to any particular action, but as sadhana. It refers to a series of spiritual disciplines. A series means there should be more than one. So he says series consists of 3 levels of discipline. That is Karma Yoga, Upasana and Jnana Yoga. All this put together is Bhakti. All these are indispensable. So Acharya says that Bhakti in the form of Jnana Yoga is very important sadhana. Bhakti in the form of other two are also important. But highest level of Bhakti, which is in the form of Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means scriptural study consisting of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyashanam. Shravanam is systematic study under a guru. Mananam is dwelling upon it until I am convinced. Nididhyasanam is assimilating the teaching. Transferring my lifestyle, that is Acharya here emphasizing scriptural study, which is also called Bhakti. The highest level of Bhakti is Jnana. Dhanyavada Amma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chitra. You spoke about the importance of discipline in bhakti and in our life of a mumukshu. I think now Dr. Kupada will take up the next part of it.
Deepa?
Yes?
Yeah. Deepa, we can ask if somebody wants to
add. I
anything.
wanted to add one more thing.
Yes.
Yes, please.
And that is where Bhakti here, Shankaracharya is talking about Atma's, that what Swarupa Atma
Anusandhanam.
That means thinking, realizing that self Atman. So that is what he means Bhakti here. Is that so?
Correct. So, what Chitra said, in one word, Acharya beautifully defines in that verse number 31, Swaswarupa Anusandhanam. Iti Gariyasi Bhaktihi. Gariyasi means exalted Bhakti. And of course, Chitra has explained that one word in very nicely in detail. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to add anything to this? Can we move to the next question? Okay, so question 2. How does Acharya describe the qualifications of a Sadguru? Dr. Kumuda will take this question.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namasarvebhyaha. Shri Adi Shankaracharya is talking about various preparations, sadhanas, on the part of the seeker to pursue spiritual knowledge. They are intellectual preparation, sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi, self-inquiry, and guru praptihi. Such a spiritual seeker who has gained adhikaritvam, atmanaha tattva jignasu, should approach a Sadguru, preceptor, who is pragnaha, who has the knowledge of the Shastras, scriptures, as well as a power of good communication, like our Swamini Amma. With that self-knowledge alone, one can get freedom from bondage, yasmad bandha vimokshanam. Until a seeker gains this knowledge from a guru, there is no chance of bandha vimokshanam. This is a final step towards moksha. In verse 33, Acharya talks about many qualifications of a Sadguru from whom the seeker, Jignasu, can gain Atmajnanam. Primary qualification of a Guru is he should be a Shrotriyaha. That means the one who studied scriptures from a Guru. Amma, here I want some clarification. Is it Shrutartha Sampannaha or Shrutartha Sampannaha?
Where are you reading from? Shrutartha
Shrutartha Sampannaha or Shrutat Sampannaha?
No, where is that word coming? Is it from you? You are supplying that word?
No. You only had told me. Primary qualification, Shrotriyaha meaning.
Yeah, Shrotriya is the one who has studied the scriptures under a guru.
Yes. And Shrutartha Sampannaha, the one who has done Shravanam from a
Yes.
Sampradaya
with
Guru.
Yes.
That is it Sutartha or Shrutat?
I don't remember having used that word.
You have used it, Amma. I have taken from your words only.
Shrutartha. Maybe sounds
Sutartha. I have written Shrutartha. I wanted to confine. Thank you, Amma. From a Guru, Shrutartha Sampannaha, the one who has done Shravanam from a Sampradaya Guru, who is from a Guru Shishya Parampara. Second qualification is Avrijinaha, one who is pure, Papa Rahitaha, Adharma Rahitaha, and one who has the values mentioned in the scriptures such as Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantihi, etc. One who is moral, ethical, and a pure person. Third one is Akamahataha, who is not afflicted by desires, who does not have any motive or expectations from the students. He does not want any name or fame. Fourth one, Brahmavittamaha, who is a knower of Brahman in superlative, par excellence. Otherwise, he is Sthitaprajnaha. Fifth one, Brahmani Uparataha, one who abides in Brahman. He is a Brahmanishta. He is his own nature. He is with total satisfaction. Atmaneva Atmana Tushtaha. His happiness does not depend on external factors. He is free from all emotions. His mind is totally tranquil. He is calm, Shantaha, which can be inferred from his actions, Vyavahara. He is like, his mind is totally tranquil, Nirindanaha Ivanala. He is like fire that has consumed all the fuel. He is a reservoir of spontaneous compassion, Ahetuka Daya Sindhuhu, that has no reason. Compassion is his intrinsic natural nature, just like sun, which goes out, which gives light and energy to the whole world without any motive. Therefore, he is only Anamatam Bandhuhu Satam. He is a teacher for the seeker who have surrendered and who have Jnana Yogyata. Thus, the Guru is a Bandhu, a savior. So, the Atmanaha Tattva Jignasu will get such a Sadguru by the grace of Bhagavan to continue his spiritual journey towards his goal, that is Atma Jnanam, Moksha. Om Tat Sat. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you, Dr. Kumuda. Would anybody like to add anything to this question? We can
There
move
is,
on to question
there is
3
one
now.
more verse, 37th verse. Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santaha. We can include there are a few more mentioned, how this Guru is like the spring season spreading joy and cheer. And Tirnaha Swayam Anyanapi Tarayantaha. So Swayam crossed the samsara and helps others to cross it. And similar points, the rest of it. Just wanted to add that.
Oh, Mama. So we will go on to question 3 now. Rekha will take up the issue on how should a Shishya approach a Guru and with which qualities. Rekha, over to you.
Yeah. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. The Shishya who has sadhana chatushtayam and an intense jignasu now approaches Guru and surrenders himself and seeks refuge in the Guru. The posture of Shishya is that of humility and devotion. That is Prahavya and Prashraya. He must seek permission before he asks a question to the Guru. He bows to the Swami, who is the master, or the Guru, who is an ocean of compassion. He humbly asks the Guru to save him from the samsara of birth and death with a sincere, direct glance, which is nectar like grace. He further asks the Guru to save him from death, as he is afflicted with threefold fire, as he does not know anyone from whom he can seek shelter. Furthermore, the Shishya prays to the Guru that the Guru may shower him with words of wisdom, which is purified, cooling, pure, and nectar-like. The Shishya once again prays to the Guru to protect him and help him cross the Bhavasagara. Thus, with total Sharanagati, the Shishya then receives the wisdom of self-knowledge from the Guru. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Rekha. Would anybody like to add something to this?
In verse 42, 5 qualities are mentioned for a Shishya. One who desires moksha, who is obedient, who follows Vaidiga Dharma, and who is Sattva Guna Pradhana, and who always seeks help from the Guru. These 5 qualities are mentioned in verse 42.
Thank you,
Yes.
Sudha.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Rekha and Sudha. Shall I proceed to the next question? Yes. So the next question is, what are the 7 burning questions asked by the Shishya? I will take up this question. In verse 49 of the Viveka Chudamani, the Shishya asks his Guru 7 vital questions concerning the nature of bondage and liberation. The entirety of the Viveka Chudamani text forms the Guru's elaborate answer to these fundamental questions of Advaita, Vedanta, philosophy, guiding the Mumukshu through the process of discrimination, that's Viveka, to attain self-realization. It is a foundational question about the nature of existence, suffering, and liberation. There are 7 questions that form the roadmap from ignorance to liberation. The first question that the Shishya asks is, what is bondage or bandha? What is the nature of the gold and silver and other ropes that grip and bind down the jiva in the samsara cycle? What is the origin of bondage? Is the next question. From where has it come? The Shishya's third question is, how does bondage stay established and how is it continuing? The fourth question asks, how bondage can be eradicated, which essentially deals with how to attain liberation or moksha while living in this jagat. The fifth question that the Shishya asks the Guru is, what is the nature of anatma or the non-self? The sixth question inquires into who is Paramatma, the Supreme Self? And finally, how can we distinguish between Atma and Anatma? The Jiva is none but Brahman. It is because of erroneous identification with the body, mind, and senses that he looks upon himself as different from Brahman and as a limited being subject to Sukham and Dukham that is controlled by external factors. This identification with the body-mind sense complex is called bondage. In reality, the jiva is pure Brahman and is different from body-mind complex. When this truth is realized as an actual experience, the identification ceases and this is liberation. Thus, liberation is not the attainment of a state which did not exist previously, but only the realization of what one has always been. In the Sarpo Rajo Drishtanta, the snake never existed. It was only the rope. Similarly, bondage has no real existence at all. Even when we are ignorant of Brahman and think of ourselves as limited by body, we are really none but the infinite Brahman. Liberation is thus only the removal of wrong identification with the body, mind, and senses. The attainment of the state of liberation in life or Jivan Mukti is the goal of human life according to the Upanishads. This, in essence, it encapsulates the goal of Advaita Vedanta by asking about the fundamental nature of reality, the relationship between the self and the world, and the way to freedom from illusion. Om Tat Sat. Now, any questions, any questions about the questions? Or I can go to the next one.
1 second, Deepa.
Yes,
Let
Amma.
me ask a question.
Yes.
And that is, can anybody connect with this Mananam question and remember where else has a Shishya asked a guru or a wise person questions? In which text or in which context?
Kathopanishad, Amma.
What question? Of course, Yama.
What's his name? He's asking Yama, but I don't
Nachiketa.
remember. Nachiketa is asking Yama, but don't remember the specific.
Yeah,
words.
Nachiketa.
Anyatra dharma.
Mundaka Upanishad, Amma.
Yes.
In Mundaka Upanishad, what is the one thing if we know, we will know everything? That was the question
Yes.
asked.
Kena
Amma
Upanishad also.
Anyatra dharma, tanyatra dharma.
Dharma, yeah. No, my question, maybe you've not understood. You see, definitely every Upanishad will have a question. Otherwise, there can be no content. But my question was, where has a Shishya asked a series of questions, 6 or 7 questions at one shot, like what Deepa just narrated? Can you remember? Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 8, Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama, like that series of questions. And then something which is very familiar to us, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Kim Ekam Daivatam Loke Kim Vapi Ekam Parayanam. How Yudhishthira approaches Bhishmacharya and asks, so we can connect how, at one shot, somebody is asking 6 or 7 questions. And to show that one must have the jignasa. Puja Swamiji would say you should always have the curiosity in your mind. The wise, then the universe will reveal the answers. So that was the only thing I wanted to add. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you, Amma. So our next question on what are the upayas to get Atma Jnanam. I don't know if Bharti is here, but Uma will take the question first.
Yes. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Uma Namaskaram. Tatashrutistan satatva dhyanam chiram nitya nirandaram munehe tato vikalpam paramedya vidhvan ihaiva nirvana sukham samrichati. One who has been bitten by the serpent of ignorance, the only remedy is the knowledge of Brahman. Vedas and scriptures are the injection to the person which remove the poison of ignorance. Samsara is compared to the snake. Here the correct vaccination to the person is the Brahmanyana Aushadam. How many upayas are there? Patanjali Raja Yoga, countless bhakti sadhanas, karmas and yajnas described in the Vedas. Lakhs and lakhs of mantras, will it remove the samsara bandhana? No, because one is not addressing the root cause of the samsara, that is avidya. For example, being in a dark room and wondering how to light it up. Can I clean or mop away the darkness? Or can I chant some mantras and it will be automatically get lighted? No, I have to bring in light. In the vision of Vedanta, you are Ajaha Abhokta. The Guru says you are the Ananta Swarupa Atma. You are the space like consciousness indivisible. To bring the gap between the Anubhava and the vision of Shastra, I should do Shavanam, Mananam, Nidityasanam, systematic, consistent study of the Shastras with the Shrotriya Brahma Nishta Guru. That is really the medicine. Guru says, you are the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. You are the Atma. Guru is the Mahavakya Upadesha Karta and gives that moksha samrajyam. What is the foremost thing, upayas, to do for Atma Jnanam? First step is Vairagyam and Viveka, emotional independence. They are the twin brothers, Shamaha and Tamaha, Tidiksha. the staying power, Nyasaha, renunciation. These are all Jnana Yogyada Shaktihi. But actual sadhana is triple sadhana. After attaining eligibility, Shravanam, listening to the systematic unfolding of the Atma Tattvam from the Brahmanishta Guru. Mananam, reflective inquiry. After listening, we can take notes what Amma discussed in our class and raising the doubts from the materials and discuss with the good friends. This is active mananam. Now we are doing active mananam. Nidityasanam. Reflect on the meaning. Contemplative dhyanam. Sitting for a few minutes and reflecting the meaning of the Viveka Chudamani sloka or Gayatri mantra for a long time. Always till I don't have doubts and gain the clarity of the Atma Jnanam. These are all the upayas for the Atma Jnanam, that is liberation. Om Tat Sat. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you, Uma. Amma, Bharti has given me her Mananam. Shall I read it out?
I think we have posted it in the group, no? So
Yes, she has posted it, so it is all right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, is there any inputs? Would anybody like to weigh in on the upayas to get Atma Jnanam? Any insights? Oh, yes. Hariji, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself. Please go ahead.
Hey, one thing what I have learned with my little bit of experience is the consistency is the key. That it should not be a part-time job. It should be a full-time job, and it has to be done every day without fail. Come what may be, there shall be no excuse for me not doing my daily Nididhyasana, daily Sravana. This is the key. Otherwise, if I slip one day, it is just like doing exercise. If I miss one day walking, the next day also I will say it is okay. Instead of 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I will go by 6:30, 6:45. That slippage will happen. So this is something which I have to tell myself. Come what may, I will not miss and I will not compromise. During my Sravana Nidithyasana time, I will do only and only that. Consistency is the key.
Absolutely, Hari. Well said. See, we all know how Maya can, in an instant, take away the mind, and
Yeah.
years of our effort and, can be misled when we get tempted. There are so many stories from the Puranas to prove this fact. So I agree that every day, in fact, one must add more time to the time that we're devoting to Shravanam and lessen other activities. Yes, so consistency is the key to success. Clarity also. Anyone else?
Thank you, Amma. Thank you, Hariji. Consistency is key. That is such a linchpin for our Mananam practice. We will now go to our next question. What is the nature of Stula Shariram or the gross body? Mayura will take this question.
Om Amma. Stula and Sukshma and Karana Sharira refer to the three bodies in in Hindu Vedantic philosophy. In Viveka Chudamani, the Stula Shariram, that is cross body, is the physical mortal body described as a temporary dwelling for the jiva to experience the material world and work out its karma. Then the nature and composition of Stula Shariram are as follows.
It is made up of 5 Pancha Mahabhutas after they have undergone a process of Panchikrita, that is grossification. It is connected to the physical body as follows. First is earth, the Prithvi, provides solidity and structure, that is bones and muscles. Second is water, that is jiva, forms fluids like blood and lymph nodes and glands. And third is fire, that is Agni, governs heat and metabolism. And fourth is air, that is Vayu, facilitates movement and respiration. Fifth is space, that is Akasha, provides space for organs and bodily cavities. The characteristics of Stula Shariram are temporary and perishable. It is subject to birth, aging, and death, perishing with each lifetime. It is visible and tangible experience during the waking state, that is Jagrat Avastha, by oneself and others. The Stula Shariram is instrument of experience. It serves as a physical tool through which Jiva operating via Sukshma Shariram interacts with external objects using the physical sense organs. It is the product of karma, that is, it forms and experiences as a result of actions from past lives. It is insentient, not the conscious self. It is animated by the subtle body and ultimately the Atman. And its main function is to provide a temporary house for the Atma to transact with the material world and experience the fruit of its karma. That is both punya and papa karmas. It is called the food sheath. That is the Annamaya Kosha. It is sustained by consuming food. The ultimate message of Viveka Chudamani is the importance of discriminating Viveka between this impermanent physical body and the eternal unchanging Atman, that is true self, to achieve liberation and moksha. Om Tat Sat.
Oh, Mayu, thank you for this beautiful description. It was enthralling. Would anybody like to add to this? Amma?
I think she's really covered all the points beautifully, Mayura.
Thank you, Amma.
And Lakshmi, do you want to say something? Anybody? No. Okay.
Harikji, would you like to add? Yes.
I have a question to Amma. Amma, when we are talking about Stula Shariram and when we take the Pancha Mahabhuta, the Pancha Mahabhutas also are, they have the 3 gunas, the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Which aspect of this guna of the Pancha Mahabhutas form the Stula Sharira?
Yeah, I think Mayura has said it. I'll just briefly repeat. So, that question about Panchikaranam, I think we all know it. It is going to come, question number 8. So, Panchikaranam, grossification. So, from the collective tamo guna of the Pancha Mahabhutas after Panchikaranam form the physical body.
Okay.
So that means the creator, Brahmadev, has to create the whole subtlety of the universe first. And then comes the gross universe and the bodies. Yeah. Is it clear?
Yeah, that means that the tamoguna aspect that forms the
body.
Stula Sharira.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And that gives the weight and the tangibility and the grossness, the heaviness also, tamoguna. Whereas the mind is antakarana, is often called sattva because it's a collective sattva guna of the tanmatras before panchikarana.
Okay, that is Hiranyagarbha, no?
Yes, Hiranyagarbha, yes, is the cosmic mind. And all our minds are, collectively known as the sum total Hiranyagarbha. Yes.
Thank you, Amma. Hari Om.
Welcome. Hari Om.
I'll now proceed to the next question. Vijay Lakshmi will take this. How do the sense objects bind the jiva? Explain with examples drawn from nature. Vijay Lakshmi. Is she there?
Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead.
I have unmuted myself.
Yes.
Om Amma. Sense objects bind the jiva by creating desire and attachment, which in turn lead to karma and continuous samsara. This process is driven by the mind and rooted in ignorance, avidya, the mistaken identification of the true self with the anatma body, mind, and external world. Adi Shankaracharya explains this mechanism in several ways. Rope of desire. Foolish and ignorant persons are bound to sense objects by the rope of desire. The jiva is attracted to the objects of the senses, that is sound, touch, taste, sight, and smell. And this attraction creates a strong rope of attachment that are difficult to cut. Human beings who are attached to all the five senses face a far worse fate if they do not exercise control. Mind as the cause. The mind is presented as the only cause of the either bondage or liberation. When the mind is tainted by rajas, it creates an attachment for sense objects and binds the jiva. The root cause of this entire cycle is ignorance. The jiva, through delusion, superimposes the qualities of anatma onto the atma and wrongly identifies with the physical body and its desire. Karma and rebirth. Bound by attachment to sense objects, the jiva performs karma which generates positive and negative results, compelling them to wander endlessly in cycle of birth, old age, suffering, and death. What is the path of liberation? The path of liberation. The liberation from this bondage is achieved not through external action or weapons, but only through discriminative thinking, that is viveka. The constant realization of what is real and what is unreal. By cultivating detachment and self-control, one can sever the strong rope of love for sense objects with a sharp sword of detachment and attain freedom. Here I would like to give a very small example. We have a saying in Tamil, Manalul mulgi மறைந்து கிடக்கும் நுணலும் தன் வாயால் கெடும். Even if a frog is fully hidden under a sand, it will lead to its own folly due to its croaking. So we are the reason for our own problems, and we should know when to keep quiet. Loose tips sink ships. So this is generally even the frog creature, which is not easily available to caught by the man because of its escaping capacity. It is also called mandugam. In Sanskrit, mandu means food. So this is what I would like to convey, that sense objects always bind the jiva, and we have to control our sense objects.
Thank you. Vijay Lakshmi, Sushila wants to add?
Yeah, I wanted to add that the Vedanta gives the 5 examples of animals which are
I have written it, but I didn't read it.
Okay. Yeah, because of which it falls to death.
Yeah.
So
the
they are the
by
deer,
smell.
elephant, moth,
Yeah.
fish, and the black bee.
Bee by smell.
So that only with one or sense organ, it falls to death. But then imagine a person who has all control of all the five senses. What would happen? What type of a samsara will he fall into?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Right. I have written it, but I didn't read it. The text uses the analogy of different animals that are destroyed by their attachment to a single sense. Example, the deer by sound, elephant by touch, the fish by taste, the bee by smell. I've written it, but I didn't read it.
And the moth by sight.
Yes, sight. Yes.
And out of these five, I remember Swami Shivananda, all the great acharyas say, if we have controlled the tongue, then it's 50% of the victory.
Yes.
Tongue is the most mischievous sense organ.
Yeah.
And we know this, the way we are fond of sometimes junk food and we crave because it gives us it's emotional eating or psychological dependence, or we are sad, we reach out for chocolate. All this shows the tongue can be very, very tricky in mastering.
Amma, my grandfather used always say, Naka Adak, which means spiritually and literally.
Correct. Naka Adak.
And நாக்கு அடைஞ்சா அந்த ஐந்தும் அடக்கும். All the five. Yes, Niharika?
Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Can we also correlate these sense objects to the famous chariot example, these horses, if not in control, so they go haywire, and we need to. I'm just trying to cross-reference using that example.
Yeah, excellent reference to the chariot image, the Rathakalpana of Kathopanishad. Yes.
Beautiful. Shall we now go to the next question?
Yes.
Explain the process of Panchikaranam. Prabha will take this question first, followed by Lakshmi Mami. Over to you, Prabha.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Amma. Panchikarna means the mixing of the five subtle elements to form the five gross elements. It is a process by which the invisible becomes visible. The world we see is formed only after this mixing. The unmanifest subtle world gives rise to the manifest physical world. Gross body is formed when the five elements unite. Simple step-by-step explanation is the five subtle elements exist first. They are space, air, fire, water, and earth. These are very fine, not visible, and cannot be touched. The tamo guna of the five elements divides into two halves. One half remains the same. The second half is again split into four small equal parts. Mixing happens to form a gross element like earth, water, air, space, and fire. Each gross element is made from half of its own and 1/8 of each of the other four elements. So every physical element contains all the five elements, but one of them is dominant. Brahman, in association with Maya, projects the subtle elements. Each subtle element is pure, possessing its own primary quality. Example, space, sound, air is touch, water is taste, and earth is smell. This explains that every object in the earth is a mixture. Why is Panchikarma done? Panchikarma is done because the subtle elements are too fine to form a solid world. After Panchikarma, things become solid, liquid, or visible. We can see, touch, taste, smell, etc. Simple example is, just to make a cake, you need more flour, some sugar, some butter, some eggs, some milk. One ingredient is more than the other, and the other is less. Similarly, to make earth, more earth element is used and small amounts of other four elements are mixed. This mixing creates the physical world we live in. Panchikarma shows that the manifest world is nothing but a fivefold rearrangement of elements projected by Maya. The universe in all its vastness and variety is nothing but Brahman appearing through name and form. Recognizing this reduces attachment to name, form, and prepare the mind for self-knowledge, the discovery that I am but pure consciousness. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you for your beautiful description. Lakshmi Mami,
Yeah.
will you take up the same question? Thank you.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you, Prabha. She has covered almost everything, but still I will add some points. Before, what is Panchikaranam? Before explaining about this, let us ask one question. Atma Kaha? Who am I? Stula Sukshma Karana Sharira Dvai Adirikta Panchakoshatitah San Avastatraya Sakshi Sachidananda Swarupah San Yas Tishtati Sa Atma. Means the one who is distinct from the gross, subtle and causal bodies, being beyond the five sheets, who abides as a witness to the three states of experience of the form of existence, consciousness, fullness is I, Atma, the self. Now we will come to the Stula Shariram. Next question. Stula Shariram Kim? Panchikrita Panchamaha Budaihi Kritam. Acharya further explains about the three types of body. Our body can be described as Stula Sukshma Karana Shariram. Stula Shariram is gross body, is very well intelligently put together by Panchabhudaha. Let's see more about Stula Shariram. Stula Shariram is born after Panchikritam, grossification of five elements. This body that is made up of the grossified five original elements, which is born due to past good actions, which is the abode for the enjoyment of Sukham, Dukkham, etc., which is endowed with the sixfold modifications, such as Asti, Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyate. That is born, grows, undergoes modification, decays and dies, is the gross body. The process of making each element, that is Akasha, Vayu, Apaha, Agnihi, Prithvi, five-fold process takes place. Then the tamas aspect of each of the five original elements divides into two halves. One half of each element remaining as it is, undivided. The other half of each element divides fourfold. The combination of the intact half of each element with 1/8 part of the other four elements is called Panchikarana. The process of making each element fivefold from these five elements that have undergone Panchikaranam is the gross body is formed. The one who is identified with the gross body called the Jiva is but the reflection of Brahman. This Jiva alone by nature knows or thinks Ishvara to be different from himself because of avidya. Thus, as long as the vision of difference, the Jiva and Ishvara remain, until such time samsara cycle continues. When one gets Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam, will have the Adhikaritvam to moksha. Om Tat Sat.
Prabha and Lakshmi Mami, how beautifully you explained the whole process. Is there anyone who would like to weigh in with their inputs? If not, we can go to the next question, which is how is subtle body formed? Its role and purpose? What are the fourfold functions? What is another name for Sukshma Shariram? Kalyani will take this question.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Amma. Subtle body or Sukshma Sariram, which is also known as Linga Sariram, is a non-physical vehicle of experience. It is beginningless superimposition upati on the pure self Atman, brought out by its own ignorance. It is formed from the five primordial Panchaputas before they undergo Panchikarana. It is the body of mind and vital energies which keep the physical body alive. Sukshma Sariram is described as having 17 components, that is 5 Jnanendriyas like eyes, nose, ears, etc., which are organs of perception, 5 karmendriyas, that is hands, legs, etc., which are organs of activity. 5 pranas, which are prana, apana, vyana, udana, and samana. And 4 aspects of inner instruments, which are manas, buddhi, which also includes ahankara and chitta. Now, seeing the roles of Sukshma Sariram. First one is, it is the vehicle of experience. Sukshma Sariram serves as the instrument through which Jiva experiences the karma palam, and it performs actions in Jagrat Avastha through Stula Sariram, and it acts independently in Swapna Avastha. Second one, transmigration. Sukshma Sariram, along with Karana Sariram, carries the impressions of past actions and vasanas from one physical body to the next. It is the bridge to the gross body, that is, prana maintain the life of physical body. And Sukshma Sariram is the seat of mind and intelligence. The mind and intellect are responsible for all mental processes, emotions, and thoughts. Thus, Sukshma Sariram serves as the toolkit through which Jiva experiences the world. The false identification with the Sukshma Sariram and Stula Sariram, due to avidya maya, it is the primary cause of bondage or attachment, which leads to the samsara cycle. And only upon the realization of true self, that is Atma Jnanam, subtle body ceases to exist. Om Tat Sat.
Just Linga Shariram indicates the presence of Chaitanyam. Can we add it? It also indicates whether a person is dead or alive. These indications are done by Linga Shariram.
Amma, would you like to add in a comment? Hariji, please go ahead.
Hari Om.
Hari.
Amma, one query to you. At any point of time, even for a jnani, will the Sushma Sharira get exhausted? Can
Amma,
you hear?
can you unmute yourself?
Could you hear me, Deepa?
I
can
don't
hear
think
you.
Amma is there.
Amma is having an issue, I think.
Yeah.
Amma, can you?
Actually, I had to go and address something. I am just back. You have a question, Hari, about
Yes.
Sukshma Sharira? Can you
Yeah.
repeat it, please?
You say once for a self-realized person, the Sushma Sharira will, there will not be any Sushma Sharira. Is it for a jnani there is no Sushma Sharira?
Yes. See, now we have to understand what happens when the knowledge is gained. That is, you're talking about the Jnani case, like Ramana Maharishi, Ramakrishna.
True.
So for non-Jnanis, we already know that the Sukshma Shariram travels from birth to birth, right? Described in chapter 15 Gita, and that travels to the new family, new environment. But what happens in the case of a Jnani? Because the Karana Sharira is no more there. Ignorance is dispelled. So there is no cause for a Sukshma Shariram anymore. Because all the 3 karmas are burnt, prarabdha as though burnt by the fire of knowledge. So what happens to the subtle body of a jnani? It does not travel. It goes back to the sources. It goes back to the tanmatras. Just as the Pancha Mahabhutas, either, we cremate the body or bury it or, put it in water, jala samadhi, they go back to the Pancha Mahabhutas. So too the subtle tanmatras also are absorbed back into their sources. Go back to Hiranyagarbha. And Karna Shariram, which is Maya, Avidya Maya, is no more there. So the jnani has become one with Ishvara, and that is continues as the pure Tattvam, Atma, Brahma, consciousness.
No, my question is, as long as he is
Alive. Yes.
will he have or will she have Sushma Sharira?
Yeah.
Just like that, she or he has got a jnani has got a Sthula Sharira. Though once he enters in Samadhi, then there is no question of his rebirth.
Correct.
After the Samadhi, there is no
question of rebirth.
It's Sthula or Sushma.
Correct.
But as long as he is in the world, just like Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Ramana Maharshi.
Yes.
Did they have Sushma Sharira while they were alive?
Yeah. See, actually, Hari, the next question number 10 is going to address this, the ahankara.
Okay, then if I...
No, but let me tell one point. It's a good
yeah.
question. Definitely, see, as long as the prarabdha continues, whether one is a jnani or a ajnani or a mumukshu like us, Sukshma Shariram is very much there. Only for a jnani, it's a very enlightened Sukshma Shariram. It's
Okay.
a very light one and it is a badhita ahankara, very pure ahankara, which is not coming under the grip of raga dveshas or not suffering avidya maya. But definitely it continues till the prarabdha drops the body and then.
Okay.
Might also that Sukshma Sariram has this mind and chitta and also it has to continue, right? Even for the jnani till his prarabdha is over.
Yes, correct. That's what, yeah.
But on a transactional basis.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why even a jnani has to go through the sukham and dukham. Like our Puja Swamiji had to go through a fracture. He was driving to inaugurate some Chatralayam. The driver had some vision impairment and then, a hairline fracture happened. So whatever is the prarabdha will unfold. And those impressions are there in the Sukshma Shariram. But the next birth is addressed by, pursuing this knowledge and gaining it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Hari Om.
So I will proceed to the next question now. Who or what is ahankara? What is its role? Is it positive or negative? Lakshmi, Julie will take this question. Lakshmi?
Yeah.
I've
unmuted. So, question is, what is ahankara? Ahankara is a Sanskrit term for the ego or the I maker. The word is composed of two parts, that is aham, I, and kara, maker or doer. It is a concept that gives rise to the sense of I and mine, creating a distinction between the individual and the rest of the world. Ahankara is considered a source of attachment, desire, and delusion. In this sense, it is negative. Spiritual practices focus on transforming or transcending it to realize a deeper sense of the self. In the Bhagavad Gita, ahankara is presented as the ego or the false identification of the self, Atman, with material nature, which in turn obstructs moksha. In chapter 3, verse 27, Krishna warns that actions driven by ahankara, believing I am the doer, bind the jiva to karma. All actions are performed by the gunas of nature, but one deluded by ahankara thinks I am the doer. Ahankara fuels desires and obscures the true self. That is evident in Krishna praising virtues like humility and absence of pride. In verse number 17, chapter 18, Krishna describes the liberated state, one who is free from the notion of ahankara and whose intellect is unattached, neither kills nor is bound by actions. When one's mind is in a state of ahankara, one is in a state of subjective illusion, where one's psyche is bound to the concept of oneself with an external thing. This could be material, tangible, or even just a concept. Here, the ego is constructing an illusion. The ahankara manifests itself by assuming authorship of all actions, of the buddhi, manas, the senses, and organs of action. In ahankara, a state of rajaguna is predominant. It identifies only with a small part of the creation, body, and rejects everything else as not me. This gives rise to negative feelings such as pride, egoism, competitiveness, hate, and jealousy. The ahankara functions as a part of the antakarna, along with the manas, mind, buddhi, intellect, and chitta, memory. A healthy, balanced ahankara can be a source of willpower, commitment, and determination, necessary for survival, growth, and achieving worldly success. The ultimate goal is to disidentify from the ahankara and realize the true self, Atman, as pure, unchanging consciousness, thereby achieving moksha. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Any other inputs? If not, can I proceed to the next question?
Just 1 minute. I don't know whether this was answered, whether ahankara was negative or positive.
I have answered it, Gayatri.
Okay.
I didn't put it as a separate question, but in the part of the, as part of the presentation, I pointed out where it is negative and where it is positive. So it is not watertight, positive, negative. It depends on how it is used.
No, what I wanted to say is it is not inherently negative. For Vyavaharika purposes, we do need what is that?
Ahankara.
Exactly. That's what I said. If you have a well-balanced ahankara, then you can.
Sorry, I would have missed that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sudha will take this question. What is the difference between Vishyananda and Atmananda?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. First, let me take a Vishyananda. A desire arises in the mind for a specific object, for a person, or a situation. Our mind labels that entity as favorable and a craving is developed. So in the process, what happens? There is some pressure, some agitation happens in the mind. When the desired object is obtained, then there is a momentary calmness because the pressure comes down, the agitation comes down. We think it is happiness. This happiness doesn't last long. After some time, the mind craves for something else, which seems to give more happiness. And suddenly a favorable aspect becomes unfavorable. You move to a house, you build a new house, you are very happy living in that house. After a few months, a factory comes in the next plot, so much noise comes, the same house becomes unfavorable. So when we think these objects, the external world, the sense objects and the material world gives us the happiness, these are the source of happiness, we are mistaken. It is due to our ignorance we consider that sense objects bring happiness to us. Actually, the happiness which we experience is only a fraction of, a tiny fraction of the inherent Atmananda that we have to understand. So our mind only projects the external objects as the source of happiness. As long as we identify with our lower I, ahankara, this misconception will happen. In deep sleep, there is no external world. We are not chasing any object. Still, we are happy. So it doesn't depend on the external objects. Happiness doesn't depend on the Vishayananda. The Vishayananda is fleeting and it is conditional. That is what we have to understand. What about Atmananda? Atmananda is bliss. It is infinite. It is constant. It is independent of any external condition. Puja Swamiji, Dayananda Saraswati ji used to say it is limitless. Instead of Ananda, he used to use the word Ananta. So Atma is the only universally liked. that gives happiness permanently. That is Atma Ananda. How can we express Atma Ananda? Only when we abide in ourselves. Jnanis experience that. In Gita, Krishna says, Atmaneva Atmana Tushtaha. So when you abide in the self, then only you can experience that Atma Ananda. Jnanis, they have discarded all sense pleasures, everything. They are not affected by that, but that bliss is there constantly. That is Atma Ananda. So we have to live in this world and we have to, in the midst of Vishayananda. So how to manage this Vishayananda? We have to develop that Vairagyam to know this Vishayananda, whatever happiness it gives, it is all Anitya. Then we have to develop that Vairagya to manage this with detachment and with objectivity. So it all depends on our mind power. Finally, it's the mind power, it matters, which can be developed through sadhanas and spiritual discipline. So for those who attain the self-knowledge, then it is Purnatvam. There is no more bonds and it will be limitless Anand. Om Tat Sat.
Om. Thank you for this beautiful explanation. Would anybody like to weigh in with your inputs? If not, shall I go in to the next question, which is, how does Acharya describe Maya in verses 108 and 109? This question will be taken by Suganya.
Om Amma Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Namaste to all. So, moving to verses 108 and 109, Acharya unfolds the glory and the wonder of Maya. And he starts to talk about Maya now because Maya is the nature of Karana Shariram. We are going to look into more details about Karana Shariram aspect now. So, in the starting from verse 108, we get to learn more about Maya. So, in this shloka 108, Acharya is describing Maya with a lot of adjectives. We will look at it one by one. So, he says Maya is Paramesha Shaktihi, the power of Brahman. And he says Maya is called Avyaktam. Avyaktam is unmanifest. The way how a seed, from the seed comes the sprout, and then the sapling, and then the tree. We cannot see the tree in the seed. It is unmanifest in the seed, but then this is how it works. So Maya is like that. It is not known. So it is called Avyaktam. And he also calls Maya, he says Maya is Anadi. And why is Maya Anadi? Adi is beginning. Anadi is beginningless. So Avidya Maya, it veils the buddhi. And Vidya Maya reveals the Atma Vastu. Now, why we call Maya, Avidya Maya, Anadi is, if suppose there was knowledge already, then Maya would not be there. There was, if there was an origin, then it would mean that knowledge was there before. If knowledge was there before, then there wouldn't be avidya later. So it doesn't have a beginning. However, it has a end. Maya does come to an end when self-knowledge, Atma Jnanam, comes into play. So, fortunately, Maya is not Ananta. However, our Atma Jnanam, Atma Brahman is Anadi and Ananta also. And then Acharya mentions Maya as Trigunatmika. Trigunatmika, why? Because Maya also has Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The entire Jagat is the reason, the creation of the entire Jagat is the reason why we all are here is because of Maya. And full of Jagat, there is Sattva Guna, Rajas Guna, Tamas Guna. And Maya is the Trigunatmika there. And even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says Maya is the Jagat Maya. In fact, he advises Arjuna to be Nistray Gunyah. somebody who, and he advises him to become the gunatitaha, to surpass, to move up from tamas guna to rajas to sattva, and stay rooted in sattva guna, and eventually go above and beyond to become a gunatitaha. So that is that. And para for what para means is the cause of the firstborn. Now, Prathama Jaha is the Hiranyagarbha. The firstborn is Hiranyagarbha, the Chaturmukha Brahma, the cause for the creator. And it is who has created the Chaturmukha Brahma itself, the Hiranyagarbha itself. It is the Paramaya. Because Paramaya, it brings forth the cosmic mind, the Samashti intelligence. The next is the Karyanumeya. Anumeya is an adjective to Maya. It's measured or assessed by the Karyam, Karyanumeya. The Karyam is the effect. Like, for example, when we look at a child and by seeing its features which are similar to the parent, we have the anumanam that this person is the parent. Similarly, yeah.
Can you unmute yourself, Suganya? Unmute yourself, please. Yes.
So Maya is Sudhiya. So only a wise person can understand Maya. So based on its effect, idam sarvam jagat prasuyate, the Srishti cycle and all the manifested form, they can all be understood by a wise person. And in the next verse, Acharya says, Maya is neither Sat. It is neither Sat. It is neither Asat. It is neither different from Brahman. It is neither non-different from Brahman. It neither has limbs and it neither, is without limbs. Nor is it a combination in all these aspects. Maya is the Adbhuta Anirvachaniya Maya is how he calls it, because it cannot be categorically pointed out. So such is the nature of Maya. Om. That's it.
Thank you, Suganya. Shall we go on to the next question? Question 13, which Gayatri will take. What are the twofold powers by which Maya binds the Jiva to the cycle of worldly existence?
And Gayatri, can I request you also to be brief?
Yes, Amma. Yes, Amma.
As much as possible. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shastras explain that Maya binds the Jiva through its twofold powers. Avarna Shakti, the power of veiling, and Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection. They operate sequentially, yet for an unprepared mind, they appear simultaneous. Avarna Shakti, it hides the truth of the selves. Not that the self becomes concealed, but it is not recognized by the Jiva. It covers the knowledge Aham Brahmasmi, giving rise to Atma Ajnana, like mistaking a rope for a snake. The Jiva, not knowing its inherent Puranatvam, concludes, I am limited, I lack this skill, I lack that knowledge, and so on. We can say that Avarna Shakti is like a phone screen locked in black mode. All apps, photos, messages are fully present. But when you just take the phone, the user sees nothing. The functions are available but appear inaccessible because a cover is operating. In the same way, the self is ever present but unrecognized due to Avarna. Once Avarna has done its job, the veiling job, Vikshepa automatically follows. It projects the world of Namarupa, generates Kartatva and Bhoktartva, and keeps the mind outward turned in Chitta Vikshepa. Desires, fears, duties, relationships, and whatnot all rise and fall because of non-recognition of the self. Like the imagined snake giving rise to fear and agitation, Vikshepa creates endless reactions. For example, say you want to make a call, but what do? You unlock the phone. Immediately, it throws so many notifications, messages, alerts, updates. Then what do? You don't want to make a call and you want to respond to one app. So one response triggers another. This outward scattering is Vikshepa. Now, how does the three gunas support these Trigunatmika Maya? Tamas, it strengthens avarna. Tamas causes dullness, heaviness, disinterest. And we know that it keeps this avarna very, very thick. Now, what about Rajas? Rajas is activity and restlessness. It throws the mind outward always. Even during chanting or in satsang, the mind runs. Oh, I have to do this Mananam question. Next, I have to attend the Bhagavatam class. So the Rajastic rush strengthens Vikshepa. Sattva brings clarity, inquiry, and illumination. Listening to Amma with attention, taking notes, reflecting, revisiting the verses even while questions are not being asked. This sattva allows assimilation. So such a guna thins avarna and limits vikshepa. When we look within, we can detect these shaktis. A closed mind towards Shastra is tamas thickening avarna. A restless mind jumping to other fields even while doing a puja is Rajas fueling Vikshepa. And a moment of clear understanding because of the teachings of our Guru is Sattva lifting up the mind. Thus the teaching, Bandhaha Ajnanam, Moksha Jnanam Eva becomes clear and real. So when we understand this, and we get the freedom from samsara through consistent Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasana. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Vedant. Now, question 14 will be taken by Indiraji. Which body is prominent and important in which of the three avasthas and why?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Adi Shankaracharya clearly explains that in each state of experience, one of the three bodies become dominant because it alone is capable of functioning in that state. Three states and their prominent bodies. Jagrata Avastha, that is waking state. Sthula Sharira, the gross body, is prominent because in waking state, individual interacts with the external world through sense organs. Only the gross body can perform action, see, hear, speak, walk, and interact with the external world. Even the Sthula Shariram is the most important here because it alone can operate in the material world. Next comes the Swapna Avastha, dream state. Sukshma, the Shariram, the subtle body, is prominent here because in dreams, the physical body is inactive. The mind creates its own world using vasanas, that is impressions, memory, desire. Since mind, intellect, ego, and prana belong to subtle body, it is Sukshma Shariram that functions in the dream state. Hence, Sukshma, subtle body, is important body in the dream state. Now comes the Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep state, that is Karna Shariram, casual body is prominent because in deep sleep, both the gross and subtle bodies become inactive. Only Karana casual body, the seed state, which where ignorance, avidya resides, remains. All cognitive body functions are resolved. It holds potential beej for mind and experience. We say, I slept well, I did not know anything. This non-knowing is due to Karana, the casual body only. No experience, total ignorance and relaxation brings total anandam. Thus, Karana Shariram is dominant in deep sleep. Shankaracharya also points out Sharira Trayam is Anatma. Sula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariram, Traya is Anatma. This Maya is Upadhi only of the Atma and it's known as Karana Shariram, the casual body. It is Shariraha because it is subject to destruction and disappearance. Totally. Om Amma Pranam.
Very good, Indra. Nicely Three avasthas, three bodies you've explained. The only correction we all know, Karna Shariram is definitely not casual.
Okay.
It is causal.
Causal. Right.
Yeah.
Just
Puja Swamiji
slip
would
of the
also
tongue.
joke and say that, it's easy to mispronounce it as casual, but it's really the root of samsara, causal body. Okay, then the last question. Okay, Hari.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a query, Amma. Is
Yes.
it that after in the Jagrada Avastha, when I say that I slept well, has it got anything to do with the causal body? Is it not the consciousness as witness is able to say that I could sleep, I had a good sleep? Has it got anything to do with the causal body?
Yeah. So, who says I slept well? It's not the causal body, but it's the ahankara, right? We are clear about that. The ego, the I, right? The I notion that is now the waker recalls and says, I slept well. So, the causal body is Maya, which has blanketed and given us the deep sleep experience. So the ahankara understands that there is something, that by which there was no experience in deep sleep. And that was the causal, the causal state in the deep sleep. So this is remembered in the waking state. Does that answer your question, Hari?
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And finally, we come to the final question. What is the role of the three gunas in life at moksha prapti? Dr. Padma will take this question. Over to you.
Om Mama, Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas play an important role in life, born of Prakriti, and are responsible for human bondage. When Sattva Guna is dominant, like pure, steady, clear water, or compared to clean, polished mirror, where reflection is clear, like Atma Bimba, original consciousness, example sun. But if mixed with Rajas and Tamas, like cracked mirror or muddy water, reflection also is not seen, and samsara chakra goes round and round. Every human is captured, Atma Bimba as Pratibimba, mind is Jadam, once activated becomes sentience, then activates sense organs through which world gets illumined, shining in the mind like Atma Jyoti or Swayam Jyoti, example of lamp in inverted pot with holes. Sattva nature of clear and brightness, causing attachment to knowledge and gati to higher lokas as a result of punya and gnana. Rajas is the nature of delusion by causing attachment to activity and increase of which leads to middle lokas resulting in sorrow or greed. Tamas, nature of attachment to indifference, causes gati to lower lokas resulting in ignorance and delusion. Predominance of our guna over one guna over the other two, and proportions can be changed by sadhanas under a guru of Guru Parampara to gain self-knowledge makes one a gunatita. Healthy sattva, guiding rajas, and minimum tamas channelize rajas to offer dhanam and kshetra's visit and develop tolerance, amanitvam, and yamaniyama, inquiring into one's own nature or mumukshatvam to get shuddha tattvam or daivi sampati will take us to next level of knowledge by following ride, which I think everyone knows, but I will again give the expansion, are reduce adharmic activities at the thought, speech, word, and physical deed levels. I include spiritually elevating activities, Panchamaha Yajna in your life. D, dedicate all activities as a worship to the Lord. E, experience the future as it unfolds as our karma phala and as prasada from the Lord. This kind of principles of karma yoga lead one to a liberating guna, which is sattva guna, highway to moksha. Thank you, Amma. Om Tat Sat.
Om Mama.
Yeah.
With
Deepa,
this,
that was the last question, I think.
that was the last question.
So thank you, Deepa, firstly for compiling the questions and beautifully anchoring and navigating us through the session. And to all of you who participated so actively with your enriching inputs, we can see that how sometimes, Mananam happens along with Shravanam for very advanced students. Even Nididhyasanam can happen. But for most of us, we have to do active mananam, no? Raise doubts and then address it. And for the purpose that it should take us to Nididhyasanam eventually. So that there is crystal clear, doubt-free knowledge, which cannot be challenged. Okay. So we will stop here and Hari Om Tat Sat. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्छते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ